Good afternoon, my friends. I just wanted to share with y'all what I'm going to do today. I am outside and I am at my table on the deck, and I'm going to repot some orchids. These pots were the original ones I bought them in, like at Lowe's or, maybe Home Depot. But anyway, I think that it just needs to be repotted. I know it needs some fresh soil. And I've been doing a little bit of research about orchids. They don't use regular soil, they use bark and some other material. So today I'm going to give you some do's and don'ts about orchids. First of all, these are in a dormant phase, so they're not flowering right now. And I have two orchids that I'm going to repot. So let me show you the correct medium to use. I picked this up at Lowe's a few days ago, and this is orchid potting mix. Make sure that either you get Miracle Grow or some other name brand is fine, but it needs to be specifically orchid potting mix. And this has the bark mixture that is highly recommended for it. I also got the Miracle Grow orchid food, and I think I got this. I'm not sure which store I got this from, but that's, neither here nor there. That's not important. But anyway, so this is the fertilizer that I would need. Now let me give you some tips about orchids. The first suggestion is they need bright, indirect light. They don't want to be outside, so you need to put them by a window that has high humidity. So bright, indirect light is what they're after. And the second tip is water only when the soil is completely dry, about once every week. Do not overwater. This will make it rot. Don't let the pot sit in water. So I'm going to show you how to properly water it in a few minutes. The next tip is feeding. Diluted orchid-specific fertilizer only a few times per month, and only fertilize during the spring and summer. Well, now we're in fall or autumn, so we're not going to fertilize today because my plants and your plants are probably in their dormant stage. And when they're in their dormant stage and not flowering or not blooming, we don't need to fertilize. Now here's some suggestions about potting and repotting. Use lightweight, airy, growing orchid medium. And medium is the kind of potting soil that we're going to be using. And it's got to be specifically named for orchids. And lastly, repot only when necessary or when the plant is outgrowing its pot. And that's what I think I need to do today. These pots just seem a little bit too small for these orchids. They have big, large leaves. And I really don't know a whole lot about orchids, but I just wanted to share some tips with y'all today about that. And later on, I'm going to be showing you how to repot some African violets because I love African violets too. Okay, I hope this helps you a little bit with your plants. Okay, I'm going to be very gentle, and I'm just going to take this out of the pot. I'm going to go ahead and take this one out. And I can use these for some other plants. I just got back from Lowe's, and I did find some really good deals on some orchid plastic pots, and these are $1 less than they usually are. I think they were between $2 and $3 for these. They're usually about $4. But anyway, they have these little cutouts that are oval shaped for wonderful drainage. So that's going to make the orchids really happy. And they also have these clay pots, and these have really large drainage holes. So there's one on each side. So there's there's 3 drainage holes, and they're pretty large. And they also have the little base to go with it, the little tray. So you just put it in there like that. And remember, you don't let water stand in there for more than 1 hour. You can let it sit for 1 hour and then make sure that the water is tossed. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in my plastic pot, and I'm going to put my gloves on. I should have already. They've already gotten dirty this week, and these are new gloves. So I'm just going to get a little bit of potting soil out, and I will turn the camera around and show you in just a second. Some mixture has spilled out on the table, so I'm going to use that too. And we'll get just a little bit more to cover up those roots. Okay, so this is the second little orchid that I've transplanted today, and I'm going to take these back inside my house and we'll water in just a few minutes. Well, hey there, sweet friends. I just want to show you how to repot some African violets today. So today is another day. In the first segment, I was talking about repotting some orchids that I had. Well, today I'm going to be talking about repotting some African violets. So let's get started. This is one of my original violets that I've had for years and years. And as you can see, it has multiple plants in it. It only has one bloom right now because I took off some that were spent or, worn out blooms. So today what I'm going to do is go ahead and put on my gloves, and I'm going to show you how I repot these. And African violets are very delicate. A lot of people don't like them because it's hard to get them to bloom sometimes. But when I put them in my south side window that's facing the south, I tend to have better luck with my African violets. So the first thing I wanted to show you is these little planters that I got. I got them at Marshall's a week or so ago, and this one was only $7.99. It's a beautiful color, and it has the nice little bowl in the bottom. So I call this an African violet bowl. This is perfect for African violets. Most of them like to be watered from the bottom, as many plants do. And it's an indoor plant. You can't have these outside living, And I've just got them outside simply because it's a mess to repot with the potting soil. There is an African violet potting soil you can get from Miracle Grow, but they did not have it in my town. So I've looked in several different stores and I was not able to find it. So I'm just going to use the regular potting mix by Miracle Grow, and we'll see how it goes. It's usually fine for my African violets. So what I'm going to do right now, I think I'm going to have to take these gloves off actually, so I can be very careful. I'm going to go ahead and fill up my pot like halfway. That's what I normally do. I even have the price tag on this one. Let me clip that off. Okay. And I really think an orchid came in this one, but I'm going to try to put an African violet in it because it has a nice little tray at the bottom, a drainage tray. And this one also has a little drainage hole, but you're going to have to make sure that you have a drainage hole for your African violets. And the big one that I've got actually doesn't have a drainage hole, and somehow it's surviving. I went ahead and unplugged that drainage hole, so there's one right there. I'm going to leave it plugged right now and unplug it later. But this one, the large one that I was showing you, has no drainage hole, and I'm surprised that it's living because it doesn't get good drainage. So I'm going to go ahead. I'll put my gloves on for this part with the soil. And I'm going to go ahead and fill up like halfway with the soil. And I'm going to go ahead and do all these little flower pots like that. And of all these pots, this one is my favorite. I love that color. I'm thinking about painting my bathroom that color because that's the room that these plants are in. I think I'll do 2/3 full in each one. So we'll go ahead and fill them up 2/3 full with the potting soil. Okay, so these are about 2/3 full, each one. And I'm going to take my gloves off because I want to be very, very gentle with these. I've got to separate this big plant. So I'm just going to lift up the whole. So one scene did not get filmed correctly, and I apologize. In the next upcoming scene, you'll see me watering the African violets. Okay, friends, I just wanted y'all to see I've got this nice big dish pan here, and it's big enough for 4 plants. And I've got about 1.5 inches of water. It's like 1.5 inches deep, and hopefully the plants are going to soak up this water. I can either take it to the bathroom where it normally stays so it has some really nice indirect light, because I really don't want to leave it outside while it's doing this. But I could put it in my laundry room. I just don't want to put it in my clean kitchen. But so I have some other plants that I've also got to water. These have not been watered yet. And right now I'm going to try to let these stay maybe an hour. That's the time. That's the length of time that it's recommended for orchids. So I'm just going to assume it's probably a good time for African violets too, to just sit in the water for an hour. And they're getting bottom fed right now. So they're getting watered, you know, through the bottom instead of the top. So this is bottom watering. So anyway, I'll let you know how it goes. So I'm going to go ahead and put some water in this dish pan. I had to go and get another dish pan because I ran out. But I'm going to go ahead and center these in the dish pan. And then I'll just pour water in the bottom of the pan, about 2 inches deep. We just don't want to get the leaves wet. That's the purpose for this. The reason I did this experiment was to show you that a lot of plants like to be watered from underneath instead of on top. They don't like their leaves to get wet. And this is actually an experiment for me too. So I'll be letting you know how my plants are thriving or not with the bottom watering, because I usually do top watering. So, okay, there you have it. I am loving this chrysanthemum. We got it at Home Depot a few days ago, and I am in love. It was $30. That was the only downside, and I'm hoping I can keep it alive, y'all. And here are the chrysanthemums that we got the other day. I've gotten 4 new ones. Got the little burgundy right there, the orange, the deep purple, and the yellow. This yellow one came back from last year, but it's the only pretty one that came back. This one looks like it's gonna be okay, but it hasn't started blooming yet. And this one over here looks very sad. So I'm gonna replace the little barren spots with some more chrysanthemums. But I'm finding out that Lowe's and Home Depot, they're very pricey on theirs. So I'm going to look at Walmart this week, and I'm going to take my mother along with me, and we're hoping to find some better deals at Walmart in their garden center. These next few clips are some mums from Tractor Supply, and I thought they were so gorgeous. I just wanted to throw them in this video. Well, here are the chrysanthemums, and I just wanted y'all to see all the new ones are planted. I did go and get a few more. I think I ended up getting 2 more, like at Walmart, and I believe those are the. I believe I ended up getting the burgundy ones. But anyway, I just wanted to show y'all how it's finished, and my husband Bob has trimmed a lot of the limbs, as you can see. The lower limbs have been trimmed, and that's allowing a lot more sunlight. So I'm hoping that these mums this year will do better than the ones I had last year. They were not getting enough sunlight last year. And I also wanted to show y'all a tree that we had taken down. Now it's just left with a big stump. But I'll actually show y'all the tree trimming process in a little while. We had to get a company near our home, and this was just a massive tree, and my husband had planted it a long time ago when we first built our house, like 20 years ago. But I'll show y'all that tree cutting expedition in just a few minutes. Hey friends, thanks so much for watching my video today, and if you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up and share it with some of your friends. Thank you, and have a great day.